Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel and Jeff P on Niges view on things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. That's how the live stream should have gone yesterday, but it didn't. Plagued with its problems. I'm going to show you a recording of the recording because it's ended up being 4 hours long. I couldn't shut the stream down. And yeah, we had a few technical issues, and it's because I didn't understand how to use a computer, obviously. And it wasn't, well, you make your own minds up. At any rate, let's get on with the video. I've shortened it down. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to join us. Really appreciate it. And also, I would like to thank Jeff P for taking his time. It should have been quite a short stream, but it ended up being quite a long stream. Let's watch the video.
Let's see your entire screen and hit share.
Isn't that strange?
That is weird. Because it says I am, but the thing is, maybe it's coming back. I think we have a lag on your side because I've got like 173 megabyte per second connection right now.
you don't really want to know about the internet issues that I've had today. That's all I've got to say. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to jump out of the conversation, come back in.
Okay.
Just 2 secs.
All right.
Just to point something out, this is where my trouble started when I left the chat. Maybe not a good idea. But also, I hadn't actually started recording. There's a big green button that says start broadcasting. You can't get it wrong. It's just like using a mobile phone. But hey, it was recording. Yeah, well, this is quite interesting because I need to start the stream. The stream button's not there. That's interesting. Can you hear me?
We got an echo effect now. Told you everyone this is non-formal. Yeah, we hear you.
We're getting really bad feedback here, Jeff.
Yeah, you could start a new link and just come rejoin the. Try turning off all your microphones, or if you have a phone in the background or something. Can anyone in the chat room see my home screen? Aha, it looks like we're looking great. We still have a 20-second delay between when I'm talking and you guys hear the message. Yes, I'm going to show you guys the cubic waveform theory. Quick little video. This cube is the particle. Wow. This is how they connect to one another. This is known as the cubic waveform model. We'll play that one more time. You see how the disk rotates? This is the cause. This is when matter is seen. It changes direction. We'll talk about this hopefully at some point during the show. I'm going to show you next what we caught on Stephen Spaulding's channel. "20 minutes after sunset, Cincinnati, Ohio, yesterday." See the redness in the center of the screen. All I gotta say is, wow. Hey, if anybody catches this, please send me an email or send a comment in my YouTube channel. I would love to show this. Let me see. I'm going to fast forward this. Absolutely not normal. Nigel, how you doing? I can hear you, Nigel. So hi, Naomi, Frankie, Sherry, Michelle, Michael. Everyone in the chat room, thank you for showing up.
Really?
So everyone can hear us. I think we just have a delay issue. Well, we got rid of the echo, Nigel. I think we just have to take care of the delay. Cool. Let's see if we can shows what's happening in tonight's sky. About the sun simulator, the lens array, or this thing. All right. I'm going to play something that's happening in our skies right now. So these planets are approaching us. They are hot planets. These planets are hot. They were first spotted from the IRS telescope, which is infrared. It was seen in infrared spectrum. So that's why we see a lot of this stuff at nighttime. Nigel, how you doing? See the spots here? Again, if it was something that was on the lens, then it should never move, right? But maybe, oh, I'm just going to let you guys just enjoy the video here. Well, Nigel works out the problems. Do the elevator music. Yeah, I agree. Yes, I believe those were the moons. We got the echo effect coming back. I think there's like at least 3 moons. Nigel, how you doing? We may have to restart this Google Hangout.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, there you go.
We're here.
I wonder if are you experiencing delays?
Yeah. I'm experiencing many different things. A computer shut down. Hey. I'm not even moderator of my own Hangouts anymore.
It's like running its own thing, huh?
Yeah. It's going to run for 8 hours and then stop.
Huh.
But never mind. Hello, Jeff. You're back.
Yeah, I thought maybe that'd take care of the delay, dropping out and coming back in.
Sounds a bit better.
All right, let's see it.
You've been talking about the sun simulator and the lensing system in front of the sun simulator. What I want to do is just show you something that I've come across. Can you see my screen, Jeff?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Now, we've been talking about the lens in front of the sun simulator, and what I'm going to do is show you a video. This is really, really important. When you're showing the light and a bit of paper and how it makes a difference in the chemtrails. But let me just show you something. Right. This is going to credit to the Action Lab, as you can see there. I watched this video yesterday. It's about 20 seconds worth. But if you can just see there, look on the wall. Does that seem familiar to you? So what he's trying to do is he's got a 37,000 lumen torch and he's shining it on a wall, trying to use a magnifying glass to see if he can project the beam onto the wall. But then all of a sudden, let me just show you the video, and then it becomes very, very self-explanatory.
Just spread out the light even more than the initial head of the flashlight. So now let's see if we get any different results with the Fresnel lens here. So I'll start by putting the flashlight close, and we see that this doesn't help us because I just get a magnified version of the flashlight. So I just spread the light out.
Right, if I stop it there, you can see that you get the 2 lines around the outside, and then we get our sun simulator in the middle. And if you look round our sun simulator, which is a great big LED torch, I've always said so, going through a Fresnel lens, or Fresnel lens, it's got a bit of red around the outside. But if you look at this picture that comes from Australia, we've got our sun simulator just in place there, and you can see the 2 lines around the outsides. For me, it just goes hand in hand. What do you think?
Yes.
And when they move the lens backwards and forwards, or whatever they do, you can see what happens. Just like that. And then all of a sudden, something quite strange happens when it gets to this point here. That starts to look like our sun simulator in the sky. I don't know about you.
Yes. Exactly. I think they're actually changing the focal length. which is the distance from the lens to the light source itself.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, our sun is so bright at the moment. There's people leaving comments and people saying that even wearing sunglasses, the sun is still so bright. You know, it's hard to drive now.
Yeah, you know what? Let me dispel one of the myths out there that something needs to be as big as the sun to simulate the sun. Okay, now I thought that wasn't even needed to be explained, but you could stick your finger in front of the sun to block the sun from your very eyes. This object is about the diameter of a tennis court at 256 miles. Any physicist could do some simple math and realize it doesn't need to be the size of the sun. Number two, when the sun sets, you will see a yellow sun with a white sun in the middle. How is that possible?
Well, it's not at all possible. And if you just look out the mechanics of how a torch actually works, you've got a small bulb and a big spray of light. That just, it all goes hand in hand for me.
Right. The other thing I would like to discuss, if we're as long as on this topic, is just it's so obvious, rudimentary science that the sun should never, ever change diameter. Ever. Not from the distance that it's at. And yet that's exactly what we see when it passes through clouds and chemtrails and everything else.
I find it very, very hard to because it's 93 million miles away in the sky. And people go, well, that's why it looks so close.
Yeah.
Because the sun simulators.
Here's the next question that just hammers me with, we got to answer this one, is how is the heat simulated? It's not being simulated. The sun is still creating the heat. The sun simulator only creates the light, and the heat you may feel from it is from the focal length, from the focus lens itself, just like you feel heat from a magnifying glass. So the sun's still there. It's still producing heat, but its light is diminishing while its heat remains.
That's it. No sun, no life, is it, Jeff? We haven't got the technology to build something that is so perfect. Not really.
Right. And one of the next big question that people are going to keep asking, why? Besides my theory about it's obfuscating the unexpected solar eclipses of our moon from other planets, that our sunlight is gradually being diminished. The light, the visible light, not the ultraviolet light, but the visible light is being diminished steadily to a point because the nemesis star is stealing away its light energy and absorbing its light and getting brighter in a binary process. And that's where we're going to get into the electric universe. We saw that most of the stars in our galaxies are binary stars, and they have this exchange. In our system, it's a 3,600-year light exchange, and they're seeking balance. And as this thing approaches, our sun continues to diminish, but our lying meteorologists are telling us that it's solar minimum. Yeah, we have one that's normally caused by Jupiter, but this is caused by the nemesis star.
Well, we never used to get coronal holes, and these are starting to get very, very big now. They've gone from very, very small to extremely large. Halfway across the sun, something's going on.
Let's talk about the ice crystal theory about the sun halos, the dark sun halos, which first appeared in 2017. Okay, so that's not normal. And we see on a hot summer day with thin layer of jets spraying in front of the clouds and producing these dark sun halos. Now, last I checked, ice crystals do not come out of jet engines.
No.
Right?
That's
That's the swamp gas theory we want to hear from meteorologists. And besides, one more thing, these ice crystals do not produce rainbows. And if they did, how come we don't get the full color spectrum of rainbows? Red, yellow, blue, green. No, we get just orange and brown. Where's the green? Okay, so don't give me this ice crystal garbage that the meteorologists have been fed. They got a spoon fed to this brainwashed garbage.
Well, if you're looking at this picture, Jeff, this really says it all to me, because if we're looking at the rainbow and we can see there's a rainbow effect on the clouds, but it's the wrong side. It should be the opposite side. How is that at all possible? This, to me, just looks like there's a lens, just exactly what we just looked at in the last video. It's just got that big torch effect that's going on.
Let's see. Right, exactly. Okay, look at the outer edge of that. Do you guys see what would look like a normal prism rainbow? Do you see any freaking rainbow colors from ice crystals? I mean, I hope that most intelligent people would say that is sprayed by jets. Jets don't crank out ice crystals, and if it did, where are the rest of the colors of the rainbow? That proves that there are chemicals in the air. That's not water.
And also, it's on the wrong side of the clouds as well. You know, you don't get rainbows on the opposite side of the cloud. It's just...
You know what? Let me do another slam dunk, okay? We don't get... you read about sundogs, okay? It from Wikipedia, and these trolls will tell you that this is a rare occurrence. Yet we get it almost every single day. Double rainbows, rare, right? They just got to say that, okay? Show me a video, a halo like this from 2015.
Exactly, 100%. It just wasn't around. It's just like the Pell effect on the sun. It just wasn't around. You know, oh, it's a camera abnormality. Of course it is. If that's the case, how come it's just suddenly appeared and then all of a sudden it's appeared on the moon?
Yeah. And then if you watch anybody with to get out their cell phones and look at the skies, you'll notice there's a sudden interest in flying the jets in front of you. Then you get the halos. And then after the eclipse clears, the halo disappears and they stop flying the jets into the sunny sky. Just yet two couple of days ago in Sacramento, it was reported to be sunny. And now, and at the time, we saw total overcast with a dark sun halo. Now, people, next time you see this, look at the weather report. These guys that are spraying the skies are not lining up with the people that are reporting the weather.
Well, you know, if you listen to the media and we believe what we're told, and some of it we can actually believe because that's the way it is, but many lies have been told. So really, what is the truth? But over in America, it's illegal to speak about the weather if you work in the weather service. That makes no sense.
Yep. No sense at all.
None at all. So you know, if there's nothing going on, all of a sudden there's a massive big storm over in America at this particular moment in time, and it's not even being reported over here in the UK.
Yeah, and you know, these people that are like trolling us, they remind me of like the people that put dogs and pets to sleep. You know, they're like, "Don't worry, Fido. You know, this shot won't hurt. It's okay." And they pat him while they give him a lethal injection and kill him. It just amazes me. That's what these people remind me of. These people are such dark people, man.
Being truthful, looking at this picture just here, which, you know, how can you tell me that this is a lens flare? It's just an impossibility. You know, okay, it's a smudge on the screen because somebody threw a tennis ball at it. That's what
right. Hey, should we give people that, you know, we're not like the greatest scientists, but we're not stupid either. How many lens flares should there be with the sun? Right? One, right?
Exactly.
And we know, and the lens flare is in the lens, right?
Exactly. And it's a reflection of the light source.
The very light source itself, the filament light source. And our sun, you know, being round, should produce a round sun flare. And if we get two sun flares, we have two light sources.
Yeah, it's just an impossibility. I mean, there's a projected image that we get to see, and I've shown that many times to the red spinning planet. And also we get to see a lens flare, and they act totally different. When you get to see the red spinning lens flare, it goes across the screen. It just appears and disappears. And like, if you're looking at our sun will go to the right or to the left, whichever way the camera's orientated, and the lens flares will go in the opposite direction because it's a convex lens. You know, it's not a flat lens system, which people tend to forget.
Right. So, any other topics you wanted to bring up real quick? I mean, it's kind of a non-formal thing anyway, so this
Well,
kind of we're trying to keep this happy and friendly. And I get a little annoyed by some of the trolls that are trolling us. I know.
Jeff, the best thing to do is take no notice of the trolls, because at the end of the day, most of them are not trolls, they're bots. You know, they're there for the government. Look at the trouble that we've had trying to put this Hangouts together. You know, I mean, rebooting a computer. Of course, that's normal. It is Windows after all. Right, what I want you to do, if you don't mind, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. You were talking to me yesterday about Planet Series.
Yeah.
I think
I was just, let me launch the program. I was just pointing out the evidence from a really old video that our solar system is actually evidence of the Nemesis system and where it came from. Why we have. Do you have a solar system scope?
I do, but I'm frightened to launch it because my computer's going really, really slowly at the moment.
Trying to. Okay. We'll keep the chat going. You're sharing your screen still, right? I'm launching my solar system scope.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll just stick something up. And talking about series, which is quite interesting. Let me just throw this up. I don't know if everybody can see it.
It seems to me like everything's pretty smoothed out because I'm talking to you in real time, I believe.
Wait.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, technology. Let me show you. I don't know if everybody can see this. Can you see that on my screen?
No. I just see your icon.
Oh.
Try. Sometimes if you're sharing, I think you've got your camera on too. There we go. We're seeing something. Wait, we started to see it.
Right, I'll try and do this again. The wonders of technology.
Hey, the ozone layer. You got any status reports on that? Because I have some theories about the ozone layer, but
well, yeah, the ozone layer is quite a strange one because they've been harping on for the last 10, 15 years that there's been a hole in the ozone layer. So, and they're blaming it on actual aerosols. You know, it's a man-made thing yet again. And ozone is electrical. You know, if there was something coming in and interacting, I would expect to see, you know, coronal holes in the sun and maybe the ozone sort of like opening up. And that for me sort of like makes sense if you think about it now. Yeah.
Well, I think part of the ozone layer in the chemtrails is all about ionization of the upper atmosphere and basically weaponizing it.
Well, they could really turn it into a great big plasma screen.
Plasma screen. That's ionized. The transfer of electrons. Any plasma atmosphere creates an atmosphere where the free flow of electrons, like you see in a fluorescent bulb.
Yes. And in that, what they could do is actually get round to changing the colour of the sky if they really wanted to, or actually Operation Bluebeam, making it holographic. And we've seen that.
Yeah, like you said, setting the stage for Project Bluebeam as well.
But you were talking
your theories on the CERN Hadron Collider. I've got some theories on that as well.
It's a bit of a strange one there. I'm not rightly too sure what they're trying to do with that. There's many different theories, but the end result, I think maybe what they're looking for. I know they're trying to look for something. Are they trying to look for a way out, maybe?
Yeah, I think most people can agree it's basically a gateway by the
Yeah.
way that they accelerate the particles, expanding the magnetic fields of the waveforms of all matter. And at the center of this whole thing, that creates a massive toroidal gateway, perhaps even opening up a gateway to these incoming planets.
Well, it could be, but I think maybe what they're trying to do is they're doing experiments which I don't think they understand. Maybe they do understand, and the outcome could be extremely bad for us.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about these pictures you got here.
Right, I've got a picture of Ceres here, which is taken from Wikipedia, and you can see that it's got the planets around the outside, and we've got this red object here, which, you know, these are pictures that I've actually got off Australian webcams, and I don't know if you can see, they look identical. One's red at the bottom, one's white at the top there, but they do have the planets around the outside, and it's got this object here. Now, if you were to stick it in a lens system, it would reverse it. So this, and this is this. That's, you know.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So what were you saying about Ceres?
Let me share the screen real quick, and I will kind of give you a quick where we're at in our solar system right now, and kind of the evidences of this Ceres planet. Let me know when you can see the screen here. Can you see my screen?
I can see your screen. Yeah.
Do you see the solar system now?
Right.
You see it, right? Okay, this is our solar system, right?
Right.
This little thing here is the Ceres planet. This is what was believed. What I want to show you is almost like right now, the Ceres planet is a third of what remains of the ancient planet, what we believe that Planet X destroyed as it passed through our solar system when it comes in on its incoming path. And it is at its highest in its orbit above the ecliptic plane of our planetary system right now during the eclipse, right? I mean during the equinox.
Yeah.
And if we look down on this entire solar system here, that what started the whole Planet X thing back in the late 1800s was the perturbed orbit of Neptune, this planet here. Neptune's was believed to actually have the had a moon called Pluto, this planet here. And as this planet exited, it ripped away its moon and it started orbiting our sun instead. And so in 1983, the IRS telescope was spotted the incoming system from the Orion constellation. I want to show you something, just the little stellar proof of all this, that if we look at the apogee of, like, Pluto, for example, its apogee is at its greatest when it's facing the Orion constellation. So here's Pluto here. You guys see that?
Yep.
And we can see that it approaches its closest in its orbit here. And then it swings really wide in a much further orbit as it swings out toward the Orion constellation. That is true with like a lot of our planets, actually. Everything is like elongated towards the Orion constellation that this thing was perturbed at. And I find it interesting, too, that I think the reason why Ceres, this little planet here, is high up on its orbit path where it's at now, and its highest in its ecliptic plane. Am I going too fast? Sometimes I go too fast.
No,
that this system smashed this planet, which the orbital path of Ceres is the asteroid belt, right?
Right.
I just want to show you like where this thing, like it came in up through here, smashes through, and then it's going to come through and pass through the, according to all the Parada and Stitchin, and that it's going to come through the ecliptic plane between it's going to pass the Earth's orbital path between the orbits of Venus and Mars. Is that what you got as well? At some point in time, when no one really knows, right?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to show you that.
I think that, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so what you what do you think? What you wanted to show us there, my friend?
Certainly do. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just share my screen. Right. Just bear with me.
Sure.
Right, what we were doing, we were talking also about the fake light coming off the sun and the pelt effect, which people are saying is a camera abnormality. Not that I've looked for it before, but we're looking for this pelt effect. And every time I point my camera at an electrical light, this is exactly the effect that I see. You know, inside this, we've got because this is a festoon bulb. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wire that we could see just there. But on the sun simulator, when we get to see it, whether it will be, let me just show you something. So we've got the moon here and we've got the pelt effect. You know,
yeah.
For me, this is just impossible. It is just really, really impossible. Like you're saying, Jeff, 2 years ago, we never got to see this effect. This was, you know, this would made the news, you know.
Yeah, well, they knew the powers that be were going to, you know, start posting the crap on Wikipedia and saying, hey, this is a rare thing when, you know, swamp gas comes out of, you know, some planet and all this stuff. And just because they post it on Wikipedia, somehow it becomes true, right?
Of course. Exactly. Let me just show you something. You've been capturing a lot about the black planet. So let me just show you this video. And we're looking at Janicock Airport here, and this is from Monday, March the 12th, 2018. And you can see that we've got the red hue in the background, yellow sunrise, but there's a tinge of green going on there now. You know, it's
okay. I see what you're saying now, like a yellowish green almost.
Yeah, it's a very, very strange colour, and as the sun and sun simulator coming through the sky, you know, things actually do change. But the point I'm making is this is about the most normal part of the video. We can see that we've got our sun, like you're saying, it's yellow in the centre. Yeah, yellow sun.
Yes.
White. Why is it white? You know.
Well, the white comes from the simulator, and the yellow around it is the actual sun.
And then you got the red behind it, and we're getting to see the red all the time. I've shown many pictures, and you've shown many pictures.
And I think that's because of the red atmosphere, iron oxide atmosphere from the planetary objects orbiting it.
But as this comes through the sky, look at the actual colour of the sky. It's really, like a turquoisey green.
Wow.
And we've got every effect that I've actually caught over the past 2 years just in this video alone. We've got the pelt effect around the outside, and we're getting these bars which seem to be everywhere now. You know, I've caught these for the last 2 years. It just reminds me of bits of plastic, you know, flapping about in the wind. Yeah. And you can clearly see.
You can pull up the document on the Sun Simulator patent, how it said that we're going to see these red and blue light aberrations.
Well, that's exactly what we got there. We got a red, a blue one there. We got a red one there, and you know, it's just all over. Yellow, blue. It just reminds me of a big kaleidoscope. Really, what's right with that at all? You know, anybody looking at that going, well, that's a camera abnormality. Please tell me how that works. Look at the lensing system just there as well.
To me, that's just such a weak argument. That's like just calling everything CGI. You know, it's a lens artifact, and nobody does. Bars, you go out and check this stuff yourself. You know, I like how people say, you know, the hexagonal sun is hexagonally shaped because of the shutter shape of the camera. I'm like, yeah, you know, this is a cell phone, right?
Of course, that's it. But getting back to the dark planet flying by, there's been many different videos that have surfaced, and we got Macquarie Island, May 25th of May 2016, and a dark planet. I don't know if this is the dark planet that we've been looking at, or this is another planet.
Wow!
Because it just goes across the screen.
Like look at the time frame too. Look at. I'm curious about the speed of it because I'm going to determine what kind of planet. Whoa!
But here it is back in Seawalk East, and that's Monday, August 2016. I think this is our black moving planet, but it's quite far out there. Lens systems in the sky, and even then we had this red effect around what looks like to be a great big mess in the sky. You know what I mean? And it sort of dodges around. But there's a new up-to-date video. This is from Bondi Beach, and we've got the black planet flying about. And this was the dates there, 19th of November 2017. But this one is the new one, which is Sunday, March the 11th, 2018.
Wait, is this Bondi Beach?
No, this comes from Palmilla, southeast Australia.
Oh, okay.
But we got a lensing system just here, and people were going to say, well, it's just a smudge on the screen. But as you can see our moon that comes through, then something sort of like changes totally.
Oh. You got to show them. You got to let me show my disappearing moon as it peers through that very lens array. Did you guys?
Not a problem.
Yeah, just keep them entertained there for a minute. But I show that same, what they want to say something on the lens. The moon gets basically fractured. It's on my YouTube channel. I've got it set as the disappearing moon, but it actually shrinks almost to disappearing point. And,
I find it quite strange because as the moon goes through the sky, it starts off big and then should sort of like be approximately the same size as the sun as it goes through the sky. But this actually makes me laugh because if you look at this just looks like the torch that we were looking at the beginning in that video. We've got the red around the outside, and then you'll see the white just there. And all of a sudden, this actually starts to twist round in a second. It'll go behind the chemtrails that come past here.
Huh.
Something quite amazing happens just after this, Jeff, which I'm going to stop, and then we'll show everybody in a minute. But,
the other thing, like the moon, because it's so far away, it should not also change diameter.
No, not at all.
Because it's roughly the light rays approaching from the sun or the moon are such a great distance. They're basically perpendicular to the Earth. They're not approaching us at an angle. So their light rays should not allow these diameters of these celestial bodies to dramatically increase in size with chemtrails or clouds or whatever.
So it's over to you, Jeff.
Okay, let me share the screen here. Now I have on, let me know when you can see it. I had posted this video, let's see, I don't know, like a year ago. Okay, we could see it up maybe on the timestamps here. But I posted this like a year ago. Now we have the same celestial body. I'm going to say it's coming up white because the camera is basically going to night vision mode. Watch the rising moon split into 3 parts as it's rising through. I'm going to grow that up. You look at this. That right there is the overlay of the 1, 2, 3 lenses as it passes through the 3 lenses. Let me continue playing this now. Do you guys see that?
Well, that's impossible, isn't it, really?
Yeah. let me rewind that. Anybody that missed this? This is supposed to be the moon. This is a time lapse camera in near the Jandacote Air Base about a year ago. What? You just happen to time it passing through this object. Okay, here it goes. Passing through the three lenses, the three overlapping lenses, and then as it passes through, it grows back to size. Really? And you know, I gotta say that looks more like a moon simulator because it looks like a source of light rather than reflected light.
Definitely, yeah, moon simulator. I've done a couple of videos on the moon simulator.
I think that just solidifies the whole lens array. And you know what? Let me touch on something real quick. Since I got this site up, I know we're bouncing around a little bit. I'm sorry, but some of these objects I actually captured in my video before I deleted the whole channel because I thought I was being threatened. But I actually had 3 shadowy objects, one here, here, and then I ran a time lapse, and I had a third shadowy object show up right here. Now, this web camera has been offline just about 3 weeks after I got rid of my channel. I could not find that video, but this camera's been offline ever since. I'll leave a link here. Over Cairo. Now it's been offline for over a year now. Imagine that. You think that's a coincidence, people?
Well, if there's nothing wrong, why are they, turning cameras off left, right, and centre?
Yeah. So I'll leave a post for that. The Egyptian web camera. I don't have the authorization to do that. Oh well.
Oh. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, it's all right. Go ahead. What you got?
Right. Let me just show you something. Can you see my screen?
Looks like you're about to show something.
Well, hey. Right. Let's see. Going back to this video now.
Oh, right. I just wanted to reinforce what you're going to talk about here.
Oh, yes. I mean,
it's the same type of object.
We got lots of. We could sit here all night. We could do a very, very long video, but yeah, this is an actual lens system, and you actually just showed the moon split into 3. Well, that's a normal thing to see on camera. Hello. Anyway, can you see the picture? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let me show you what actually happens next. We're going to be looking here, and our black planet that's flying by, suddenly makes an appearance. And what we're going to see, because I think it's here, it's running through a lens system. Okay, and you'll understand why when you actually see it. All of a sudden, we're going to get this black object. I've stuck it through some filters so you can have a closer look. I've speeded the video footage up just that little bit. And just there, can you see the object? And then what it's going to do is go up here and move around the camera like it's on a bouncy string. You can see it just moving up here. So what I'm going to do is now stick it in some filters for you so you can have a look. And if you actually look, it looks red and black. Of course, what we're looking at is spiders playing football on the lens of the camera. That's exactly what we're looking at. But this is a projected image of the black planet flying by.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yep.
I think we've got a live feed. It reminds me of the MB333 objects.
Oh, yes. Yes. Funny enough, I
actually went that at the Dave Dobbs object, getting closer, but I don't know. Go ahead.
Yes, it does. Yeah. 100%. Let me show you something also. Looking at it through the filter, you can see that we get a disturbance up here in the sky. So as this object moves around, and you can see that, it's black in the center, and it's got, well, it looks like flames coming out the other side. But you can see how it actually changes up in the sky as it moves around. But then all of a sudden, another filter, but all of a sudden we actually get to see it 3 times in this video, which is quite interesting. Another thing is we're getting to see the flashing sun. Of course, that, yet again, something that doesn't actually happen, because if the camera's adjusting, why is it flashing like that? The camera actually adjusts extremely, extremely quickly. But also, I don't know if you can see that, Jeff, there's a line that runs down there.
Yes, yes.
And if you look on a lot of the cameras now, to the right-hand side of our sun and sun simulator, there seems to be a line in the sky. I'm just saying. Look how green it is in the background. Yet again, we get the wispy chemtrails coming through. We get the sun and the sun simulator coming up. It all turns green, which is quite strange. And we get the bars that you were talking about a little bit earlier, flapping in the wind.
You know, yeah. I can't help wondering if that is that the striped planet projections. Back up a little bit. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Like a couple seconds here where you zoom out. Okay. It almost see like these lines that we see here.
These ones, yeah.
Yeah. Notice how they're basically equally spaced apart.
Yeah.
Like almost like a pattern.
Well, you've got two of the same colour here and two of the same colour here. And they seem to flap about.
But the distance that they're apart from each other are almost equal.
Yeah.
Like it's coming from a patterned lens system again. And the theory that I have is that I could show you the time-lapse film to get people an idea of what I'm talking about, how this lens array is basically built. But I think because we have multiple lenses that are overlapping one another, focusing their light onto a single, much bigger, larger lens closer to the Earth, scattering these images to multiple planetary objects. I know it's kind of far-fetched, but it seems...
No. Well, you're talking about the lensing system. If you remember a little bit earlier down here, we actually watched the moon go through this lens, and then all of a sudden, let me just show you what actually happens. We've got the lensing system there. What I'm going to do is stick a little bit of colour on it, and
Okay.
Well, just seeing exactly what just happened. Zoom it in, and you can see the two lines, and there's the lensing system being projected. So you've got a projection of the lensing system just there. And white is, that really looks normal. Anyway, so we've got the lensing system just here. So they really can go and hide lots and lots of little bits and pieces. But something else actually occurs if we look around here. You'll see it looks like there's spiders' webs on the camera. But there's a new planet that I've just seen and come across. And it's only in frame for literally for 1 minute, because each picture is 1 minute. So we've got this object here. Let me put some colour on it and, well, outline it, and I'll put some colour on it so everybody can see it. It brings it out. That is not normal at all. But you can argue that these are spider webs, but if you can see, we've got our line there. And then all of a sudden, Jeff, this is really, really interesting. If we just look here, what actually happens, I've sped the film up a little bit because we'll be here all day. We suddenly get this black object suddenly pop in.
At the bottom.
Just there. Can you see it?
Yes. I see 3 of them.
Well, there seems to be quite a few, yeah. But whether it's the lensing system, I'm not rightly too sure. But then, all of a sudden, we get this object here.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Just there. So what I'm going to do
is... We can talk about that subject for just a second, but look, it's a hot object too, right?
Well, that is that object stuck in a filter. I reckon this is the black planet flying by, which you caught many, many times over on Addicted to Sports webcams.
Right. And I proved that they appear, disappear, and change color. So the fact that they move around, that it's something not on the lens. The next theory we can entertain is, is it something like somewhat in front of the lens, like, a spider web, like 5 or 10 feet out in front, Then if it was some kind of a spider web, then it would move somewhat within the framework of the spider web. It wouldn't move from one side of the lens to the other. But the fact that it appears and disappears and see it on multiple cameras moving the same way, I think we pretty much cast out that the fact it's not only not something on the lens, but it's not something either in front of the lens either, like a bug or something caught on a web and all the typical troll comments.
Well, some of them might actually be bugs, but when you go and stick them in a filter, which brings everything out, you would expect to see legs and other bits and pieces, and you don't see that.
We could talk about that too. We could sit there and show pictures of what a spider and a fly and a bee would look like within like 4 or 5 feet, or sitting or resting or playing around the lens, right? Number one, you wouldn't be able to see through it. Yeah, it just takes a little bit of common sense, but it's just amazing how the trolls think we're so stupid and they would buy off on something, like that.
But I mean, when you see this actually happen, and you can see it just sort of like appear, and now it's just going to disappear any second now, and then there you go. Hey,
we was asked a question I want to answer real quick about the distance of these planetary objects.
Yep.
Based upon the scientific information I've been given of Planet X, especially having a gravity field of 8 AUs away, which is approximately 755 million miles. That's about all I could say. That these planets are probably somewhere in the range of between Saturn and us, because we definitely are seeing the magnetic field effects of their bumping against our planet already. So otherwise, I don't know the physics of trying to get just how close they are. It does appear that they are in the area of the Aquarius constellation. Isn't that what you would come up with as well?
Exactly, yeah.
And you had a speed set for this too, didn't you?
I was told that it's 300 kilometers per second, which is about 17,000 miles an hour, if I've worked it out correctly.
Yeah, and according to the Dave Dobbs model, which I think he's fairly accurate, because he's matching it up with earthquakes and tidal activities, that it's something like a 200-day orbit, give or take a week or two, because of the erratic nature of its magnetic orbit.
Exactly, yeah, sure.
We have a fast-moving planet around a slow-moving star, so we're seeing a 200-day cycle of good and bad, crazy weather.
Oh, yeah, and the weather, anybody that says that the weather is really, really good, of course we get weather, but I've been on this planet 52 years, and I've got to say, this is some crazy, crazy weather. You've just got to really start paying attention to nature. Birds falling out of the sky, whales
right
in themselves.
Yeah, should I play the footage of the birds freaking out? Right, they don't even know which way to fly, and I think most scientists would even agree that birds, whales, a lot of these creatures that navigate to one side of the earth to the other, you have this magnetic sensor in their brain, and we saw some stuff on several times, birds dropping outside, whales being beached on the land. Sudden deaths, birds just crashing around, freaking out. I think that is nothing less than the magnetic field presence of Planet X every time it sweeps around us in this 200-day cycle.
Yeah, and also such a big influence. It's making the waters recede as well. I mean, when was the last time you ever heard Venice actually being? It's a water city. And, I'm looking at Mr. MB333, and he's just showing gondolas sitting in a canal with no water.
Yeah. You know what? We got to talk about that tidal thing. You guys, if those planets were that close, we'd have tidal changes. Like, have you not been paying attention to weather? We finally do get the tidal changes where boats are just like laying in the water for thousands of feet. 10 kilometers of water just dropped. And yet we have strange, not tsunamis, but waves on the other side of the continent. Like in Brazil, we have the boats are dropped out and they're laying in dry land. And then on the other side of the continent in Chile, that we have the tidal waves, 10 meters, exactly the same as the loss of the water on the other side. And then we saw it in Florida Keys. We see it in Florida. And then they want to blame it on Hurricane Irma. Like, okay, wait. Back up for a second. You want to blame the tides receding so far back that the boats are sitting in water on Hurricane Irma? Well, last I checked, Hurricane Andrew was in the same position. It was a Category 5. It didn't suck it out. You really think, 200-mile-an-hour winds is going to whip water all the way up into a big heap far away from the ocean?
And it's like it's never happened before because
We only know that lunar tides that could ever do this. And now we got something that's more severe. I mean, when the evidence even gets here, they still try and troll you on it. And it's like,
well,
how about the hailstorms that are getting greater and greater? MB3's talking about it. What was that, like baseball hail? Yeah, I know we get baseball hail. Okay, that's not extraordinary. But when we start getting areas we've never seen before, and the weather guys, we've never seen this before, we've never seen it before, we've never seen it before, and the trolls are quick to come in and say, that's perfectly normal.
Yeah, but if we've never seen it before, how can it actually be normal?
You know what? And you look at the evidence that these magnetic field pressures, if we had another planetary body, these magnetic field wave is an actual pressure. It will actually compress our atmosphere.
And that's exactly what's going on.
Yes, and if this thing hits our atmosphere, it looks like these cloud punches, looks like the finger of God like touching on us. It will compress our atmosphere. And if there are no clouds, we're going to get these UFO clouds. And if there are clouds, then it'll basically break through. And I've heard the meteorologists say, oh, it was a jet that passed through. And no one said a jet passed through. They just quickly explain this stuff away. And it's like, come on, man. I even show you pictures of cross patterns. They look like interference patterns on the ocean.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you were talking about, the ozone layer being punched through, just like the clouds being punched through. Exactly the same effect, but just further down.
And we get like this spiraling vortex looking thing right through the cloud punch as well. And if there are no clouds again, but there's still enough moisture in the air, when this magnetic field pressure bumps on us, it will compress the available moisture in there and compress it into clouds. And like a magnet, it will defy the wind current and just sit there and appear to spin in space. It won't move like a normal cloud. It just sits there. And they'll explain that too.
Exactly.
So it's like a magnet. It'll just sit there and follow the magnetic force of the planetary object it's following and just defy and not move with the normal wind current. Looking like a spaceship. And we just so quick to explain this away.
Well, it's like we've got jet streams that have been going on for years and years and years, and they've been monitored. They know exactly how they run. But if you actually look at the Earth now and look at the jet streams, they're split into two. One at the top, one at the bottom. Never seen like that before. You know what I mean? And it's by the Antarctic, North Pole, South Pole.
Yep. We've never seen it before. And we're seeing a wobble effect too as well. We saw the model of what happens with our sun. I don't think it's much of a pole shift than it is being pulled in and out of it, or the Earth being pulled in and out of its orbit because of the nemesis, or the planets.
Of course, it's going to have a gravitational effect, and gravity doesn't actually come into the equation because it's only a theory. It's more of a magnetic, electrical sort of interaction that we're getting. Yet again, like you were saying, Jeff, electrical, theory of the universe, it goes hand in hand.
Yes, that's it. Electric universe.
Can I just show you the end of this video, which I think you might find quite interesting?
Please do.
Have a look at this then. So we've got this object that suddenly appears and then back up. So what I'm going to do is stick a filter on it and let's have a quick look. For me, this is just amazing. It comes in there, drops there. This time it goes behind the horizon, not in front of the camera. So this is actually backwards. But the reason it is the way it is because it's being projected through the lensing system, as we know. This could be quite far out. And don't forget, our atmosphere actually works just like a great big lens, which a lot of people forget.
Right. We know that because light, there's more of an atmosphere to travel as an angle as it approaches the horizon, everything looks bigger.
Exactly.
The atmosphere is thicker, it travels through more atmosphere.
Sure is. You were talking about this object from Mr. MB333.
You want to bring that up from his channel?
let me just show you something, which
Because it coincides with the white planets that I've been showing with the tail.
Right, Mr. MB333. Right, this one I find quite interesting because we've seen this. I made a video back in 2016, and
clearly a lens there.
There is something going on here. Yeah, what you're going to see is just, really, there's no explanation for what we're looking at. We can clearly see that here's our sun simulator. Yeah, we can clearly see that it's not right. There's a lensing system that's in play. We've got all the lights around it, all the colours. But what is this object behind? That's all I've got to say. And it does not look right. But Mr. MB33 the other day made a video which, when I looked at it, I found quite interesting. He was showing this object here. Then a week later,
yeah.
Here,
but then he did another video.
Did
when
he?
He came out in the nighttime. He saw this dark shadow all across the sky.
Oh,
you didn't see that one?
No.
Oh,
but
man.
It actually reminds me, Jeff, of this object that we're looking at here. I don't know if you think so. As for the colours around the outside, we've got the blues and we've got the yellows. Yeah. We shouldn't really be getting this sort of thing on camera. This is what people have got to understand. They shouldn't even be in the sky, let alone on camera.
Yep.
Right.
I know there's a lot of questions about that black dot, but I hope we've answered that so many times over. I don't know I think everybody in the audience wants to know what that black dot is.
Yeah, it's definitely not a camera abnormality. That's for sure.
Yeah, it shows the mechanics of the sun simulator itself being reflected on water and different objects and watching it rotate as well.
Right. What you got to show then, Jeff? I'm sure you got some interesting things. That's Addicted to Sport that you were showing me the other day. Have you got that available?
Yeah, just keep going and I'll pull it up. The huge shadow we saw?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty epic. It just appears for a short time. I was trying to remember where we had that. I sent you the...
Yeah, you did. I would like to say, just very, very quickly, Jeff, I would like to say a big hello to everybody that's in the chat listening to us. Really, really appreciate it for stopping by. Thanks for your time. Things have been a little bit crazy for me. My mum's been ill, but that's why I've made videos. She's getting old now. And, you look after your mum. That's the most important thing because she brought you up and that's exactly what she would do for you. So I'm just repaying the favour. So making videos at the end of the day is not the most important thing. And I really want to give a shout out to my dear wife, Kaz, for, helping me look after me mum. There you go, Kaz. Love you lots. Anyway, so over to you, Jeff.
Okay, I could pull up. I could share the screen, but it was trying to match up with what camera it came from. But I'll share the screen so you can see it real quick. We get here's the JPEG from it.
Yeah, that's
you guys see that?
That really does show exactly what I was showing in the last video, and it's becoming more prevalent, much darker and much bigger day by day.
I think it was which one of these cameras, and which it was just a couple of days ago too. And what I've been catching is these two northern Italy west facing cameras. One was this camera here, and this is right now, by the way. This stuff is not Photoshop, right? I can just take you a live feed and hit the button here and look at the white objects already on this thing. Look how the whole thing's scattered.
And look how the light sort of like transforms the water.
Yeah, it's just like really bizarre stuff, and it's so quick to look at this and go, that's just an unclean lens or smudges and everything else. But the more you look at it, you discern that refractions, the light doesn't bend unless there's something there for it to bend around. So there's something out there, and you got to look at it carefully and think, where is it bending? Is it on the lens, further out? And
Well, I think we've actually proved many times between the both of us that there is a lensing system in place. You've made many different videos yourself, and I've made many different videos showing these lens anomalies, and that was easy for me to say.
yeah, I can go through the archives, the stuff I posted before, the most incredible evidence that, let's see if I can keep going. No, I didn't want to, if I can pull this up. I've got them categorized, all the black stuff about the black dot, the lens arrays, sun simulator. Here's some incredible stuff that we've seen from, to me, this is where I realized that we had a lens assessing system, because on this time-lapse video, we could see the oscillating light from the spinning cube mirror, which I know now, and we could see that it's this this phony lens system. Look at these circular lenses. They're just too perfectly round, and we've got big ones and small ones. As it starts to set, look at the rhythm and the timing of this object light here too. Just a nice slowly spinning object, and then as we clear towards the bottom here, we reveal smaller lenses, which I now believe to be further away in this Rochester cloaking field. Look how they're overlapped. Look at that.
Yeah.
Does everyone see that? You can just see how it's bending light around perfectly circular objects in the sky. To me, this was just, and the position of this object that is, seeing this in Italy, we see it everywhere. It's got to be at the right time, and I believe this lensing system, you can see that it's not moving with the sun. You can see that how it's creating the lens apparition with the circular lights around the square light petals. And there's other times of the day you can look at the same camera, you won't get the lens petal and you won't get the lens array. This system, I believe, is probably parked basically in the front of the Aquarius constellation.
And also, being truthful, if you think about it very carefully, you could actually be staring at one of these lenses and not actually see it. Now, if you happen to move at the right angle, point your camera, and then push the button, hey presto, this is what we get. I mean, how can anybody say, looking at that picture, that there's nothing wrong? Really?
Right. And the double rainbows. I mean, I caught this one. That's just not normal, man. When I was a little kid, when you were a little, come on, people, be honest. When you saw the rainbow pop up, did you see double rainbows? Or is it just one rainbow? And I kind of see like a lack of color here too. Like, where's the yellow? It looks more like an orange. And why the two of them? You would think about this: 2 rainbows, 2 suns, 1 fake, 1 real.
Or maybe 2 lens systems.
Yeah. And here is a kind of a time lapse as well. We saw the convergence of these 2 lens arrays in the sky. Well, and that can't be something on a lens. Oh, this was over Lake Starnberg, and look at the lens array reflecting off the water.
Yeah.
Right?
I actually made a video about your video, and I found a couple of more bits and pieces. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah, you want to play go ahead.
Oh, no. You carry on.
Oh, okay.
Please do.
I was showing like the spinning cube compilation again. To me, we could see what looks like a this was from the Zion Warrior channel. We can see this thing rotating as he zooms in. This thing looks almost electric, but I believe it's just a spinning cubical ball witnessing it through one of the Fresnel lenses further from the sun simulator. We can look at him zoom in on this thing. Again, this is from Florida too. Not everybody gets to see this dot.
No.
And you got to be in the right spot. Again, this one's in New Zealand.
And you actually showed it actually reflecting off the car window as well.
Yes. And you could say like it's a cheap camera, whatever, but and we could go. We see these cones of light which are coming off the edges of this spinning cube. We could see this thing rotating in a time lapse video. We could see. Oh, here's this. Again, another subscriber, in Australia. I find all these places are interesting. They're capturing this. Now watch how this, as the car goes through the roundabout, it actually comes. No, maybe this might be the different. No, yeah, watch this. Watch out. Do you see it right there?
Yeah.
You see it on the side window of the car.
That's just impossible if it's a camera abnormality, you know.
Yeah, exactly. You see it twice. And yes, they probably did make a camera that will create a spot on the lens, but I'm probably pretty sure it doesn't rotate, just because they knew all this stuff was going to happen. Again, we see this rotating light orb, which I think is the convergence of the lens from the Fresnel lens system, creating what appears to be like a hologram in the sky. Someone might even call it a UFO.
Quite possible.
And here it is again. I believe this is a projection of the spinning cube from the lens array. I mean, from the sun simulator being projected by one of the lenses.
Yeah, that's very, very possible. Because
on a cloudy day, right?
Yeah, of course. What is a water droplet?
Yeah, rotating water droplet.
Love it.
Oh, see, I think I just have this. The evidence just keeps coming and coming. It's hard to deny it. Well, how about these bizarre sunsets? Like stuff like this.
Yeah.
Can you just say, yeah, that's normal, right? A perfectly normal, whatever.
I've seen those all my life. Of course, I haven't. People need to look at this and go, there is something majorly wrong with our skies. Our skies are actually broken.
Oh, yeah. See, I had one lady actually, just pause it right there. You could see the video. Now, what I showed you with snapshots, here's the video of it. Of the lens array. Let's see, I want to expand that. You guys see the circular lens here? Now I'm going to play this video. And watch it just like eclipse the sun out. It happens pretty fast. You almost got to play this in slow motion. You have to wait for it. But watch as the sun comes into the clearing, watch the lenses just eclipse the sun out. It happens pretty fast. Right there. You guys see it.
That's
right?
unbelievable. And that is a projected image. We can see that because it's in front of the clouds as well. So when the clouds come over, it just proves they're actually using a lensing system that's in place, being projected backwards onto the lens of the camera.
Right. And how many people have seen upside down rainbows? You've heard about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I got an easy theory for that, but doesn't the lens invert the image?
Exactly. That's exactly what it does. You put a lens in place, and this is exactly what you're looking at now. You've got the rainbows around the outside, as you can see, and in the first clip, we actually saw that on the torch, but there's multiple lenses that are in play here. It clearly
overlapping lenses, folks. Plain and simple.
And, this is becoming a very, very common occurrence now. It seems to be day by day. Nobody's paying attention to it.
They watch a quick news. Hey, you may have seen this. And then they talk about ice crystals. That's the going troll thing they've been saying. And people are like, oh, okay, that's all. Okay, go back to sleep. Go back to playing your little Kardashian fingernail game. Whatever you guys do.
Unbelievable. You can see the light bleeding out the sides, the lensing system.
Yeah, look at the second rainbow. And again, ice crystals, where are the other colors of the rainbow?
But
we know how prism works. It breaks up the light. Why? That just proves it's chemicals in the air.
Well, if you look in the center of that hole, as for a best word it is, and it's literally a hole that we're looking backwards into a sky. Look at the rest of the sky, how mucky and dirty it is compared to the actual lens that we're looking for. It looks like it's been punched through, and we get to see a bit further backwards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we look at I could show you some of my thumbnails where we could show pictures of the sun simulator from space and the sun dogs and all that garbage. Let's see if I can pull it my up. Here we go. Here we have. Oh, I might have deleted it. Whoopsies. Sorry, folks. Yeah, it was basically all the NASA pictures. I'm sure I could find some on here. Oh, here we go. Here's a International Space Station. Hey, how do you explain this one, people? I think this was one of the most powerful pieces of evidence. This is from the space station, right? Now, some people want to think this floating in water. Okay, well, if space is water, so you're telling me the sun burns in water? Okay, well, whatever. Check it out. Look at the sun just like turn off. It doesn't even set below there. And look, to the real sun is over here on the left, right? What are we looking at? How did this thing like just turn off and on?
Well, you know, it's like one of those security lights outside the space station, isn't it? That's what it is. Somebody walked past it, set it off, Jeff. That's
right. And someone said that's a reflected image of the sun to the left, right? Well, why isn't it still reflecting? Because the light's still on the left, but now it's off.
Yeah.
Nothing changed for the light on the left, yet this thing's turning off and on while the light on the left remains the same. I'm not saying the sun simulator is connected to the International Space Station. I did kind of think it was, but now I think all the sun simulator is on the same orbit and the same altitude as the International Space Station. But look at that.
See, if they actually used that light on the space station and pointed it towards the
Oh, yeah.
Guess what suddenly appears? That's exactly what we've just been looking at. You know.
Right. And we look at oh, here's a camera we've been seeing on our cameras as well. Look at the interference patterns of the red and blue aberrations you get from lights as these prismatic lenses that are in front of these light bulbs literally split the light in half, and then we get this what they call this light aberration. We're seeing that with our sun as well.
Yep, exactly, and it's similar sort of colors as well.
Yeah. Is there any? Oh, here we go. Check this out. Weaponized, right? Now, does that look like anything like a sun should be? And to the left was the California fires that someone posted on Facebook.
Well, funny enough, I've been looking at a channel, and she looks at the stars, the moon, and she does a very, very good job. And that's exactly the same sun as what she's showing, but obviously that's not our sun. Yeah, it just looks exactly the same as that, really.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. The side-by-side comparison. I'll shrink this out. There we go. So here we have one sun. Does that look? This is what we see from the ground. That's supposed to be the moon. Or sun similar. Yeah, whatever. Look at that. You see the difference between what I showed you earlier, between what one was like showing you like that halo looking thing, and the other one like the front side of the simulator that we see here.
Yeah.
See how that looks different? We get this dark ring that we see here. And now on this photo, we get to see it look like this. There is no dark ring around it.
No.
See, it's like the front and back of the same thing.
And also looking at the picture of the space station, now we're looking at our sun, or sun simulator, as it be. In the center of that, you've got, or on the outside, it looks like a lens in effect being projected back like we've been capturing in our atmosphere.
Ooh, I got something good for you too. I've got some subscribers who just happen to be lined up with the sun simulator. Oh, but you know what? I'm just kind of cruising through these objects here. Remember the 2017 eclipse that we had? And a lot of these pictures were not around any trees. I'm talking hundreds, thousands of witnesses watching these mini little eclipses, shadows appearing on the ground, and they couldn't figure out what it was. And that to me proves the multiple lens arrays as well.
Unbelievable.
You know, you go back and watch, and they'll show the sky like, oh no, it's because of man, they just throw up whatever flimsy excuse because of all the pinholes from the trees or whatever. And not that they weren't trees. This one here probably was trees, but you could pull this stuff up on YouTube and you will find the same. Look, there's your hexagonal sun. Again, if you look at a cube from a certain angle, it will appear to be hexagonal. According to the Sun Similar patent, it was also a 20-foot by 20-foot cubic mirror. Is there anything you wanted to show?
Yeah, I'll just very, very quickly. I'll just get it lined up.
Go ahead.
I'll just get it lined up. Let me have a look. Right, we're talking about this lensing system, and like I say, we've both seen it many, many times, but I come across this. Let me just share my screen. Right. And here we go. Right, we've got this here, Jeff. I don't know if you saw the video, but this to me just shows that there is a reflector mechanism that's in place. And let me just play it. And then
So make sure that you're sharing your screen.
Am I sharing my screen?
I don't think so.
Let me have a look then. Right, that might be a little bit better. Let's try that. Can you see that?
No. Let's
Oh.
see. Huh. Can anybody on the live stream see it? Let's see.
Right, we'll try that now. Right, can we see that now?
No, I see is you hit the screen share.
Let's try technology.
Yeah.
Such a
Maybe
wonderful.
turn your camera off. I think your cameras might be on too.
No, my camera's off.
Okay.
Present to everyone, and we'll try that again. Right, can you see that now, Jeff?
Yes,
Excellent. That'll do.
we're good.
Get there in the end. Anyway, we're looking at our sun simulator, black dot in the center. Our sun should look like that because, yet again, our sun is behind that because no sun, no life. I'm not going to even talk about it, argue about it. It's an impossibility. But we get to see something here which reminds me of a reflection of a bulb. Off a torch. You've got the reflector around the outside, and we can actually see the clouds being reflected back into the camera. And this is exactly what I'm getting to see here. I don't know if you agree with me. But that to me just looks like a torch, around the outside of a torch, and yet again, part of the lensing system. That I don't know if you get that, but we're looking at this as well, which Right, this is Australian webcams. And it takes a little bit of time to build up. Dated the 11th of the 3rd, 18. And you can see that our sky is sort of like fluctuating in colour because the chemtrail particulates at the back. It looks really, really windy. But then all of a sudden, our sun and sun simulator will come through the sky. And just up here, it starts to change colour. If we just look just here, we can see part of the lensing system being projected just there. And then they've decided to take all the pictures away, which is quite nice of them. But they've left a few, which I don't understand. But we've got this, this white object here that many people are catching. I don't know if this is part of a lensing system, but for me, it doesn't actually make any sense what we're looking at. You can see it just there, whether that be an object or a lens, I'm not really too sure, but things are doing what they shouldn't be doing. The lens flare is acting in a strange and abnormal way anyway. But I don't know, I was watching a video the other day and this appeared. That's what it reminded me of anyway. You still there, Jeff? And Jeff's decided to do one. But yeah, being truthful, people, come on. Really, at the end of the day, how can people tell me we're looking at this, looking at the sun simulator coming through the sky, and you can see how it works. It starts to get brighter and brighter, and we've got the red objects behind it. We've got the chemtrails in front, and it just looks like they're turning it up to breaking point. You can just see it there. And this is a totally, totally normal thing to see, you know, a big explosion of light in the background. Right, has anybody got any questions? Let's pop into the chat room and see what occurs. Just bear with me 2 minutes. I don't know if you can hear me, Jeff. Your microphone's muted.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
Not a problem.
Now you can hear me.
Not a problem. Right. I'm just going to pop in the chat room and see if anybody's got any questions. If I can actually get there. What do you think you want to add or show, by the way, for now?
I know some people had always asked, you know, what's the best time and place to catch this stuff? I would say, from what I've been seeing, I think the western sky between the hours of 10 o'clock at night till about 4 in the morning. When you say
see, it depends whereabouts on the earth you actually live as to what you're going to see. I mean, I was out earlier just before I come in to do the live stream, and what I did actually notice is how very dark red the sky is. It's a very, very, very deep red at the moment. I don't know if you see that at all yourself. But the sky has become extremely, extremely dark red. You know, people will try and tell us that what we're looking at is the street lights being reflected up into the atmosphere. But, you know, and another strange thing, you know, to be truthful, if you think about LED lights, how quickly they sort of like come into our life. If you're thinking about computers, the first LED sort of system was a LED screen before the LED lights come. If they were to just throw LED sun simulator up in the sky, people would go, ooh, that's a bit strange. You know, we wouldn't understand that light. That would be, but we've been, the first monitors were CRT, then they went to TFT, then it went LCD, and then we were getting like CFC lights in our houses, and then it went to LED lighting systems, and they've even put them on the roads. So thinking about it that way, logically, we've been weaned into LED lighting system, so we wouldn't actually see the changes. But if they would just throw it up in the sky and then turn it on, everybody go, what's that? Don't you think?
Yeah. Hey, you guys seen the movie James Bond, Die Another Day? You remember that scene?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Can you see my screen?
I can.
This was this movie came out as James Bond. It's called Icarus. Right? This thing it opens up like this, and this thing opens up here, and I'm trying to get a copyright strike, but they're like, "Oh, look at the true sun." Now they're up in the Antarctic, right? And they're in this. I want to skip forward, and they're like, "This thing opens up. Check this out." And they're like, "Oh, the new sun. It's dark. Look, he's squinting." They're all put on sunglasses at night, right? And they're like, "Wow." And then a little later, these people like, "Now let me show you the true purpose of the sun." I actually do this. Right. All right. And they turn on the sun, and this thing is a weapon, right? And it's vaporizing, sending a laser beam and going after James Bond. Okay, this is perfectly acceptable in the sci-fi world. Predictive programming, that's what I think. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that little tidbit
I think
in
they
there.
told us exactly what's going on, and they've told us many times, looking at Geostorm or maybe the day after tomorrow. You know, it just makes me go.
Well, I guess we better get going. It was really nice talking to you. I'm glad we were able to overcome our technical difficulties. We could smooth out some of the stuff we had.
Well, yeah, I've still got to shut the stream down, but what I'm going to try and do is just pop into the chat with you and see if anybody's got any questions and see.
Okay. Let me see. I'll ask.
Let me have a look. Right, let's go into the chat. Let's open a new window up. And here we go. Let me have a look. Right, let's go into the chat. Let's open a new window up. And here we go. Oh, what I'm going to do is mute my mic for a minute because we're getting bad feedback.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody got any questions at all?
Yeah. Thank you for coming and visiting us, and thank you for spending time with us.
Thank you very much. It's really, really appreciated. We might not all agree on what's going on, but we can definitely 100% agree that there is something majorly wrong with the world at the moment. And I can't understand how people can't really see. You know, we're looking at things, the uptick in earthquakes, the uptick in volcanoes, the uptick in water disappearing because somebody left, somebody pulled the plug out in the ocean and, a big crack appeared and it all just disappeared. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one question, anybody know how far away these planets are was one of the questions. And I really couldn't tell you. I'm not a physicist. Don't have enough evidence to give you an exact distance. These things are in just a crazy orbit.
But we've been told, Jeff, though, if you look, hello, Chris, by the way, hello, Matrix. We've been told if we go back through the old texts and from the Sumerians and what's been written down in the past, that these planets doesn't stroll into our solar system. They suddenly appear and they're there in the sky. This is what we've been told many times.
Yep.
You there, Jeff?
Yeah, I'm here. We just got a couple trolls here in the audience still. That's all. The people are just going to always be haters. They don't care what you have to say. They're always here to debunk you. You're never going to win them over. So I give up on those people. You keep asking the same stupid question over and over again. They're never going to get it. They actually know it's here, but they're here just to keep throwing up the same doubt and try and,
Jeff, what I've done, I've made you a moderator, mate. Good evening, Penn Woodsman. How are you? I hope everything's all right. Planet X, how are you doing? Thank you very much. I will wish my mum all the best, but hey,
Yep.
Jake, nice to see you. Really appreciate it for taking your time. Like I say, everybody, Lammy Pie, I'd like to say hello.
Hi, Lemmy Pie.
So, is there anything else you would like to add? Anything else you would like to add, Jeff?
No, that's it for now.
Okay, so what we're going to do...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, after you, sir.
I just wanted to name people. Just thank you, Jake, Marlowe, and all those, Frankie. If I missed your name, I apologize, man. I really appreciate you guys sharing this information, being part of the Truth Team. We don't advertise. I'm not condemning those that do, but we're not doing this for money or own. We sacrifice our free time. We're not beer mongers. We're just here to share the truth, man. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you 100%, Jeff, because I just want to get the truth out there. I just want to show people that there is something wrong. And what I'm seeing on camera should not actually be on camera, let alone in the sky. And if it's on camera, that means it's in the sky. Not everything we can actually see by our naked eye, That's the most important.
Yep.
There's 8 billion people on this earth, and what everybody's got to remember, when they start looking up and start seeing things, the world's going to change into a very, very bad place. This is what, and that's why they're keeping it a very, very big secret, because if they lose control of the whole situation, and you've got to ask yourself, why are they building deep underground military bases for a start? And over in America, they've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of black boxes, which to me just look like caskets for dead people,
Yeah, they made all the preparations for this. I hope you guys connect the dots. I'm pretty much sure that almost everyone here is spot on with the truth. They've gone deep down the rabbit hole with us. So, as you'll find out the other side, Planet X is behind the whole thing.
I personally don't think, right, and I don't want to be a fearmonger about this, but if we're looking at how things are progressing and the speed they're progressing, somebody actually said to me, it's just like watching a slow motion train wreck occur, and it's starting to speed up at a very great rate of knots. And that's exactly what I'm looking at. Things are happening very, very fast now. And what we need to do is, okay, there's a lot of fake news out there. They're trying to say that we're fake news. Go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia will tell you that it's fake. Wikipedia can be edited by absolutely anybody. You, me.
Well, we know that's controlled by the Illuminati, so how can you trust them either?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely, it's wrong. It really is wrong. Listen, I really do appreciate each and every one of you for coming and listening to me and Jeff talk. It's really, really appreciated. What I also want to do is say, I'm really, really sorry that if you sent me photographs, I will be using them. I will be making a video, but I've just, it's just been absolutely crazy for me. You've got to understand. At any rate, much love, much peace to each and every one of you. And Jeff, thank you very much for taking the time to, speak to me, speak to everybody. And maybe we can sort it out and better next time.
Yeah, we'll start a little half an hour so we can get a little quicker going. Anyways, God bless everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Take care, man.
Okay, goodbye.
And thanks for everybody for coming. Take care.